This is the LouRaePodcast. I'm your host, Austin Course, and today I have KP. He's a model, actor, and stylist here in Louisville. KP, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're glad to have you. You're actually the first person we've had to kind of comment on the fashion scene here. We do have artists that kind of delve into it, but you kind of encapsulate all of that. So, how did you first get into that? Are you from Louisville?
Yeah, I'm from Louisville. I grew up in the East End, born and raised. I lived in Phoenix Hill townhouses for just about all my life. So I went to Eastern High School. I started really getting into fashion when I was in high school. So going to Eastern, it was like we got to wear our own clothes, pick out our own stuff. We just had to tuck our shirt in. So that's pretty odd, right?
That is odd of all the things. Yeah, so I remember you telling me that your brother was also a big inspiration for you. How did he kind of mold into that?
Well, my brother was an inspiration because he used to always play like rap music, so he would always take out pictures from magazines of like different rappers, different artists, even like Hennessy bottles and stuff. So I got to like see like what was happening growing up in the early 90s and the 2000s. He inspired me because like seeing different ways people would be able to wear clothes, like how Tupac used to wear his bandana backwards, and how like Mace and like Cameron and them, the Diplomats, used to wear those fur coats coming from Harlem. So like just seeing different ways people used to style clothes, it was a big inspiration for me.
In your house, you didn't grow up so much with maybe framed art pieces or lavish collections of fashion, so you created your own. And from that collection of magazines and pictures and advertisements, things like that, you kind of curated your own style. And from that, you began your journey into fashion. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. Like you said, not having a whole bunch of like art on the walls, just seeing like different styles of culture, like how people dress and wore outfits, how they would like took certain pieces of their clothes in, or just like actually styling their pieces with the outfit that like makes the style that makes the man.
When you first got into your own kind of style, then did somebody approach you for modeling? How did you first get into it?
Actually, I remember I was probably like 13 or 14 years old. I was riding my bike down to the convenience store on Broadway. When I was heading back, there was a lady. She was like driving like a real nice Cadillac. So she seen like, because I was like even dressed pretty good back then. I used to wear like the velour jumpsuits back then. So like I had on like this sky blue velour jumpsuit with like the old Kango hats. When I was riding my bike headed back from the store, she was like, "Hey, can I stop and talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Sure." She was like a pretty woman, so I was like, she seems like she's about some business, especially being in like a brand new Cadillac. When she stopped to talk to me, she was like, "Hey, I want to see if you're interested in models." She was like, "I just want to compliment you on your style," and like she was asking me how old I was and like just seeing if I was interested in modeling. Then she gave me her phone number. She was like, "Hey, like tell your mom like to give me a call." Back then, it's like I'm a kid. I'm not thinking about being no fashion stylist and modeling. It's like I'm still watching Dragon Ball Z and stuff. So that was like my first encounter like with fashion, and like recognizing that like I was like putting on clothes, and then like I said, going to Eastern, like being able to wear my own clothes and like not having to go in a uniform. That was pretty
So that was
inspirational.
your first kind of touch with somebody saying, "Hey, you got a lot of style. You got something special here, and would you like to do anything with it?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you first started modeling for one of your friends, right?
Yeah, so he owns a clothing line, No Vision. So when I started getting tattoos, I was like, everybody started asking me like, "Hey, like, where'd you get your tats? Like, they look pretty good." So like, I was always getting complimented. So I was like, I need to start like presenting them to people. So I was like, maybe I should start modeling. So like when I told one of my closest friends that, he was like, "Well, I'm about to drop some shorts. We could do a shoot and like you could see how you feel about it." That was like my actual first time doing a photo shoot. Then like him taking the pictures and like me actually seeing myself for the first time, how I look. I was like, "Oh, this looks like something that can really be in a magazine." It made me start wanting to like take it seriously.
Did you get any shows shortly after that? I know you worked for Dillard's once or twice.
Yeah, so like probably 4 or 5 months after that, I got casted for a model show for Dillard. That was like my follow up right after the photo shoot. I was like, I need to get the ball rolling because I was like, I want to do more runway versus like modeling. So like, I started watching different videos and trying to like hone in my craft, perfect my walk and all that stuff. So by the time like August came, it was like the first model call. I did the photo shoot. I want to say it was like back in like early April.
What's the difference for people who don't know between what you call maybe just a photo shoot and a runway act?
Well, with runway, it's more so like you have to like perfect your walk. They want to see like how they're being presented. So it's like you still do like your mannequin poses, but like your walk is like the most important thing that like is capturing people. When you taking your strides, especially like for like any model, male or female, like it's supposed to exuberate like your power, like your dominance. So like when you see high fashion clothes and it's like people coming out and they're doing their strut, like really walking, it's like, oh, like they're rocking that piece. So like that's what people want to see. So that's a little bit different versus just modeling, because modeling you could just snap some pictures, boom, 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 different angles, different turns, repetitive movements, versus like runway, you're not like doing the same thing besides just taking your strides.
So that's something you really had to work on then, was your walk.
Yeah, I worked on that for like the longest, because like you have to position your body right, like all your movements, like your shoulders, like you really have to like think about like what you're doing when you're walking versus just like, oh, I'm just walking down the street.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a purpose to it.
Yeah, there's definitely a purpose to it. So that's why you see like people with the blank face, the blank stares, just walking down the roadway, because it's like so much focus into that stride and that walk that they like, hey, like, nah, I gotta put on this show for these people.
So how did you kind of shape that? Did you have any mentors who were teaching you how to do that?
So I actually did have a mentor. When I got hired on to a background for a BET film, I actually met a supermodel, Jeremy Meeks. When he was on set, I actually got to like ask him like, hey, I'm doing this fashion show and I'm like kind of not sure about my walk and I'm trying to perfect it so like I know that it's gonna look right. When I was there on set with him, he gave me like a 20-30 minute rundown of everything I needed to know, how to walk, how to put my shoulders back, literally everything I needed. He was just like an open book for me. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's a great connection. So from there, have you changed much, or did the fundamentals kind of just hit you there and you didn't really need much after that?
The fundamentals pretty much started hitting me there. I just started watching like different little things so I could like do different movements within my walk, but like I started really honing in like what he taught me and what he showed me at the moment. He told me pretty much I already had everything. He just gave me like little pointers to like help it look even much more better when I was walking down the runway.
On this show, whenever I talk to our artists or our models, actors, everybody always tells me how important collaborations are for setting them up for success, or kind of how they've made it. Has that affected you at all?
Oh yeah, I love collaborating with people just because you never know who somebody else knows. You collaborating with somebody on a project, a photo shoot, whether it be a podcast or anything, it's always good to have somebody refer you over and just be like, hey, like I just did this with so and so and like they're hella cool. Like I feel like you should reach out to them. Me being a model, like me reaching out to people and just working with different people, it's always like I'm always showing love to people, so it's like I get the same love back.
Yeah, you work a lot with a local designer here in Louisville named Fines. What's that like?
It's pretty cool. He does like a whole bunch of the runway shows, so I get to walk in them, show my stuff in his shows, so he's pretty cool.
Is there anything unique about the Louisville fashion scene?
There's a whole lot of stuff that's unique with the Louisville fashion scene, just because like we have the Kentucky Derby. Right before the Derby, it's like the K-Mac events. I'm putting together my own fashion show here at the gallery, so I'm gonna be doing like a New York Fashion Week type of thing in like vintage fashion. So I feel like the Louisville scene is like really growing and it's really gonna take over, because it's like Louisville's already growing already. It's really up and coming with the fashion, the music. We got Jack Harlow, so.
Yeah, so there's not much here quite yet. It's just starting out, and what that allows you is to have a lot of inspiration to start anew, like really get your singular individual voice out and kind of shape that with the community.
Yeah, so it's like I get to be like a pot in the kettle, like put the water in and it's like starting to brew. So us being here and like nobody's really doing a whole lot of like big fashion stuff, it's like really inspiring for me, because it's like I'm getting to do like the stuff that I want to do, like in fashion and like different shows. So it's like me being able to curate those things within the show and like bringing something new and different to the table. Like that's very like fun for me.
Yeah, there's a lot to see. So tell me, what about the derby shows that you mentioned earlier? What are those like?
I love doing the derby shows because it's like derby's just a unique experience. So like every year they do a fashion show opening night. It's about like 20,000 people plus in attendance for opening night. So it's a very big deal. They stopped the horse races and put the fashion show on the Jumbotron. The news people are there, like they're trying to announce like the different outfits that's going to be presented during the show. So they even have like little QR codes of like, if you see like me in a particular outfit, you can like scan the QR code and be like, oh, that's the blazer he just had on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like they bring a whole unique, authentic vibe to the city. I love wearing pastels and like different shades of colors like that for derby. So like I love doing the derby shows.
Do most of those shows showcase local fashion designers, or are they mostly international or national brands?
Well, for the opening night show, that's more international, like the higher fashion, like the Zegnas, the PT Torrenos and stuff like that. So it's like the real higher end that you see for like Paris Fashion Week and stuff like that.
Talk to me more about the shows outside of Louisville, because you not only do shows here and do local stuff, but you also go to New York Fashion Week, and you've been to LA and other places as well. What's that like?
It's very fun because it's like me growing up, I never really got to travel a whole lot because I came from a single parent home. So I'm getting to go to places that I've only like seen in pictures and like really dreamed about. So like me going to New York and walking in Fashion Week, and me going to LA walking in Fashion Week, and just being able to rock different like higher end fashions and just having the whole experience, really living the model life. Pull up in a Tesla, BMW i3s and stuff. So like it's a life that I really only imagine. Being able to do those things is very touching because it's like I never would have thought that I would be in a position to be able to travel the world and just being able to help not only myself but like others as well.
Yeah, I mean, you grew up taking magazine pages out, and now you might be in those magazine pages, you know? You might be that guy on some kid's wall.
Yeah, so like seeing myself in a magazine, it's like I even saved like a couple articles, so like when I look back at like all the stuff that I've done, like my mom likes to collect those little things, so she'd be like, look at this, like I'm so proud of you. So like being able to have her like see me do all these things, it's pretty dope.
So what do you get out of those big shows that you might not get at a smaller local venue?
Mainly connecting with like bigger artists, because the better shows that I go and do, it's like the more exclusive people I meet. Like I met Miss America, Kentucky, Miss Nation, Miss Universe. So I'm just like bumping shoulders with people that's like really getting me in the doors that I never would have seen myself in.
Do you take a lot from their own success and put it into yours?
Just a little bit, just some of like the professionalism, how they carry themselves. So I feel like you can always learn anything from anybody, like even somebody that's might not be as successful as you. Like it might be somebody on the street that's just wants to have a conversation with you and just gives you a life coaching that like you might not ever hear before. So it's like I always am willing to like stop and talk to people just to see what they have to say, because like you never really know.
Keep yourself grounded in that way.
And I'm one of those people, like, I'll take my shoes, as soon as it gets warm outside, I'll take my shoes off, socks, and I'm going out to the grass and just, like, really grounding myself.
Yeah, that's great, man. So tell me about fashion in general, because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand it. They may just have these prejudiced ideas about being pretentious or something like that. So what is the difference between maybe, like, a random t-shirt that you get from Walmart for $10 and a Gucci shirt that costs $50? Why should people care about that kind of stuff?
Well, if you want to care about like the material and like how stuff fit, the stuff from Walmart, there's nothing wrong with like getting stuff from Walmart, but it's gonna be like a more like universal cut. So like once you get into like the higher end Gucci's, the Louis Vuittons, and like different stuff like that, like it's actually gonna be like cut in a way that's like in a European style. So it's gonna be like a slender thug and like show your body, like whether you're a male and like very strong. You're gonna see that fit like throughout the outfit. Just being able to have like those cuts like fit your body like how it's supposed to is very, very comforting.
In that way, then it's more made for the individual who wears it rather than just trying to print out so many different shirts that it fits everybody. You get a better understanding of yourself and your own style when you go with those upscale materials or upscale designers.
Yeah, I would say just because like a lot of the other stuff can kind of be like considered like fast fashion, so like it's just gonna be like getting worn and like tattered and stuff like that. So like the Gucci's and like different types of like higher end fashion like Zegnas and stuff like that, it's gonna be like made with like some quality stuff. So it's gonna be like a whole lot heavier, like more durable.
Yeah, and in that way, you get something that looks good, it fits you well, and it lasts a while as well.
Oh,
so
yeah, definitely.
it's all built into that kind of value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they look good.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
So, do you have any interest in kind of creating your own brand, or are you more focused on style?
I do like de-stress like certain denims, like jackets and stuff. I might have like a pair of shoes that I'm like I might want to customize those, so I'll splatter some paint on them and like do like different things like that. But I'm more so into like de-stressing denim and like cutting like sleeves off the jackets and like making stuff a little bit more unique. You being able to like find stuff like this, like it's hard these days. So like I'm cutting like sleeves off of hoodies, like just doing different things so I can like keep my appearance like different. Because I don't like having the same like look all the time. So
Right, and that's a big part of your whole career is kind of like being open to new styles and experimenting with that kind of stuff.
yeah, I feel like if you're not experimenting and like trying new things, you're like holding back yourself, and it's not really giving you the freedom like to be who you want to be, especially like with clothes. I don't never pick out my clothes the night before. Like I'm always one of those people because you might wake up in a different mood. Like so I move pretty fast, so like me doing high fashion, like I have to get dressed like very fast, so like I can get dressed within an hour. Like hurry up, doing stuff. I might be like running out the house trying to like get little odds and end things that I'm forgetting. But like I feel like people's mood, like when you wake up, like that's gonna base like your outfit, like. Because you might not feel the same day the next day, so it's like, I might want to do a shade of black. I might want to do a leather coat, or like it might be raining outside. I might want to put a raincoat on with some rain boots. So different stuff like that just tones into your attitude and like also in your clothes as well.
Yeah, it's good to be flexible like that. So how does style kind of tie in with your modeling career? Because you describe yourself as a stylist. What does that really mean?
A few of my shows, probably like at least more than half of my clothes, I've been able to like style most of my look. Me being able to be trusted by like the people that's like in Dillard's or like Macy's or like different places like that, like them seeing me come to the model fittings and just being able to like trust me to be able to go and be like, hey, I want to wear this or that, and like they really trust and embrace like my creativity with my clothes, because like they see my Instagram page, like my Facebooks and stuff, so like they recognize that I don't have a whole lot of stylists because I'm a freelance artist. So me being freelance, like I said, I'm picking out my own stuff most of the time, like my own outfits. If I'm doing photo shoots, I'm like picking out the stuff for that. So it's like they recognize and see those things and appreciate it. They like, at this point, you're not only a model, you're a stylist as well. Because I do have like people that's like actually stylists, actual designers. They'll call me and be like, hey, like I have this outfit. What shirt would you wear with this? And like what shoes? So like I do have people that call me and look up to me as a stylist.
I'm sure that gives you a lot of feelings of real power and inspires a lot of confidence from the people you work with, because it shows that you can be, adaptable. They don't have to babysit you. They can just show you what they have, and you can create something for them. And that's part of the artistry, really.
Yeah, and it keeps me on my toes as well, because it's like I don't want to get bored with just like having the same look. So it's like, okay, like I'm inspiring others to want to like dress different, and like people see that. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just keep the ball rolling. What do I want to do today? So I'm finding it very fun and creative.
Do you have any ambitions of maybe working with designers to try and figure out how to build shows for brands or things like that, like maybe a consultancy?
That would be dope. I never really thought about it like that, but like I do have dreams of like going to like Paris and like having them like make like certain things, because it's like when you go to Paris, they like the craftsmanship of the outfits and how they like really care about like the products that they're presenting to the designers. It's like such a high level that they don't want to like disrespect the clothes of the designer, so they're like even thinking above and beyond. They're like, hey, well, I know you like wanted this jacket. I made it like this, but hey, I just put this inner stitch in of your initials, and it has like an inner pocket right there next to it. And it's like I never thought about that. Like, and it's so dope. Like that you have like people that's like really thinking and like caring about the clothes like that, because it's like you're a team being a designer, and it's like you're not always thinking about like certain things. So it's like I can see them like having somebody make the clothes and like bring the, like I said, the people that actually make the clothes bring it to you and be like, hey, like I made this for you, and like they present it to you on a velvet pillow, and it's like just this special item, and it's like just a one of a kind.
Another thing that kind of separates the European fashion mindset compared to a lot of the American mindsets that we have here is this passion of we really care about what we're doing, what we're crafting, and how we wear it. It's all culminating into creating this, burst of expressionism. And there's a lot of artistry in like expressing yourself.
So that's why like you don't really see it often, because it's like a whole lot of people aren't really into that mood of like expressing themselves throughout their clothes. So it's like only certain people are like really caring. People like me, they see me out, they like, oh, like he's like really caring about his outfit like from top to bottom, because it's like certain things are unique. So it's like other people like respect and they see those type of things.
Yeah, it makes you really stand out as somebody interesting and somebody worth talking to and getting to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I love being able to just like having to speak and like not say a whole lot of things and let my clothes just speak for myself.
So from your walk to doing photo shoots to putting yourself out there with your own styles, it seems like all of this culminates into having a lot of confidence. So do you feel like confidence is pretty important when you're modeling? And how do you kind of build that up? How do you work on that?
Confidence is definitely a key. I feel like me growing up like early into the modeling industry, I didn't have like a whole lot of confidence. I didn't have like a whole lot of pictures. So I was like, hey, like I'm camera shy. Me like being able to like feel confident within myself so I can be able to like move naturally and like being able to like do certain poses that like I may not have thought about like when I wasn't as confident, because it's like when you're building yourself up, like especially as a model, you'll have good days, you'll have bad days, but like your confidence is always gonna go up and down. So like one day you might not feel like you look as good, so it's just like honing into yourself, like figuring out who you are so you can be comfortable with yourself so that you can go out there and execute and do the things that you need to do as a model. Me seeing myself putting on the clothes, like that's all like a big confidence boost right there. So if I'm having on an outfit, it's like, okay, like I look fly today, I see myself in the mirror, then it's like, okay, like I go take the pictures. As soon as you with the photographer, they like show you the feedback, so it's like, oh, like I look that good. So it's like, oh, like now the confidence is really starting to grow. So it's like, okay, like the confidence boost is definitely a key.
Yeah. And especially when you're a freelancer, because you have to kind of chase all these opportunities because they're not always just given to you, are they?
Oh no, so I'm always open, listening to people, just trying to find different type of fashion shows or just different type of like paid bookings and stuff like that. So since I like built a name for myself, a whole lot of people just like come to me now, like, hey, like, would you be interested in doing this? Like, so I'm blessed to be in a position where like people are coming to me now for things.
What would you say to kids trying to just get into fashion, or adults who maybe find themselves having a great sense of style? What do you think the first steps are to really showing off that and maybe getting into the fashion world?
I would say just be yourself. Really understand who you are as a person, how you feel like, and what you want to do. Because like it might not always be that you want to be a model. Like you might want to be the person behind the scenes. So a whole lot of people just want to just figure out what they want to do with like the career, like whether it be runway or whether it be photography, model, or just different things like that. I say figuring out who you are and like your lane and like what kind of fashion you want to do, like the style, whether it be European or you might want to do like New York fashion where like the real off the wall pieces. So just like figuring out who you are as an artist so you can be able to put yourself in a lane that's going to suit yourself.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, do you have any other upcoming shows or events that you want to shout out? Anything to look forward to?
I do have a fashion show coming up this weekend. I just did a talent show for the kids yesterday. I have a derby opening night fashion show coming up, and then another runway show in I think the middle part of May. So I'm always booked and busy. I have a couple photo shoots as well, so yeah, I'm definitely busy.
Where can people follow you?
It's best to just follow me on Instagram. My Facebook is more so family and close friends, but Instagram's the best for me. It's KP_HNDRXX for Hendrick.
KP, thank you so much for kind of illuminating the Louisville fashion scene. We can't wait to see more of your shows and see you on the runway.
Thank you.